Do you believe the death penalty is okay and people should be punished for their crimes, or do you believe this punishment is immoral and should be abolished? Well, today I'll be talking about my views on this capital punishment and why I think it should be abolished everywhere. Firstly, the death penalty, also known as capital punishment, is a government-sanctioned punishment through execution, according to worldpopulationreview.com. In the United States, the execution can be carried out through lethal injection, electrocution, lethal gas, hanging, or firing squad, with lethal injection being the primary method used. Although lethal injection being the top used method, the condemned are allowed to choose or request another method for their execution. Only individuals who have committed a capital crime can receive this gruesome of a punishment. Some crimes that people commit to fall into this category are murder, war crimes, crimes against humanity, genocide, treason, and more. Now that I have told you all an overview of what the death penalty is and how you receive this punishment, I'll begin to explain why I'm personally so against it, along with many others. The first reason is that I believe it's morally wrong. I feel as if taking someone's life because of something they did is unjust and just as bad as them committing the capital crime. A quote from Molly Davis explains this greatly. In a criminal justice system subject to human error, capital punishment is the opposite of justice. The government must protect the most sacred right, which is life. Also, in prisons, staff must abide by a number of legal standards because they believe taking away people's basic rights under the state's care is inhumane, but then also believe it's okay to take away the most sacred right of life. The second reason I believe capital punishment is wrong is because someone could be framing them, or they could have been in the wrong place at the wrong time. Basically, what I'm saying is all the evidence can be there and we can still be wrong and end up wrongfully killing an innocent person who didn't do anything wrong. For example, a black man who was convicted of 4 brutal murders by stabbing in 1983 has long maintained his innocence. His supporters have put forth evidence that he was framed by the ordering of DNA testing in the case. Also, NewYorkTimes.com stated that in California, a man who had been on death row for 25 years for murdering a young girl was freed after a court determined that his testimony given at his trial was false. Some other reasons to be against the death penalty, besides personal and moral views, are cost and that there's no proof that crime rates drop in the states and countries where the death penalty is still used today. Firstly, with cost, it is actually a fact that it's cheaper to house the individuals in jail for the rest of their lifetime than it is to put them on death row and potentially kill them. Some facts I found on thebalance.com about the cost were astounding. Thebalance.com states that in Kansas, the defense costs for the death penalty trials averaged at $400,000 each, and that's just for the trial cases. Also stated on thebalance.com was that taxpayers paid $186 million between 1978 and 1999. Another major cost is the cost of incarceration on death row. Between 2008 and 2017, Louisiana spent $15.6 billion each year to maintain its capital punishment system, which doesn't include prosecution, court costs for cases that never went to trial, or the cost of the state's Supreme Court review. It also cost the state $56,000 per inmate just to pay for staffing, which is 7 times more than if they were in a regular jail. The second part of the information I stated earlier was that there was no decrease in crime in the states who still have the death penalty. According to Amnesty.org, the states without the death penalty continue to have significantly lower murder rates. There's also been empirical evidence that shows in 2007, murder rates in the states who still have the death penalty exceeded those in states that had abolished it by no less than 42%. With this information, I found it shows just how ignorant some people are for still not wanting to abolish this horrible punishment. In the United States, there are still 30 states, including Missouri, who have the death penalty still legal, with about 2,000 prisoners awaiting execution, according to deathpenaltyinfo.org. There are 10 states in the United States that have abolished it or had their governor put a moratorium on it. Also, according to telegraph.co.uk, there are 53 countries out of 195 countries in the world to still use this punishment. I hope with all this information I have given you today, from my moral views to the cost of inmates to the non-deterrent increase or decrease of crimes in certain states, has helped to show you why I'm against this penalty. It has also maybe changed your views on this topic as well.